Hi, hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day of the year from the 5e PHB +3. Those +3 spells are homebrew spells. We're at +3 already. Still don't know what to do with that. Today's spell is Wall of Thorns.
Man makes it into bush at full speed. Tries to go further.
6th level Conjuration, casting time of 1 action, range of 120 feet, components verbal somatic material, a handful of thorns, duration concentration up to 10 minutes. You create a wall of tough, pliable, tangible brush, bristling with needle-sharp thorns. The wall appears within range on a solid surface and lasts for the duration. You choose to make the wall up to 60 feet long, 10 feet high, and 5 feet thick, or a circle that has a 20-foot diameter and is up to 20 feet high and 5 feet thick. The wall blocks line of sight. When the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 7d8 piercing damage or half as much damage on a successful save. A creature can move through the wall, albeit slowly and painfully. For every 1 foot a creature moves through the wall, it must spend 4 feet of movement. Ooh. Furthermore, the first time a creature enters the wall on a turn or ends its turn there, the creature must make a dexterity saving throw. It takes 7d8 slashing damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. At higher levels, when you cast this spell using a spell slot of 7th level or higher, both types of damage increase by 1d8 for each slot level above 6th. Ouch. Ouch indeed. So, this doesn't have the benefit of some of the previous 2 wall spells where you have the 10-foot panels, you can decide where they go, so you can't really zigzag. And it can go under the full range, so you don't have to make it the full 60 feet, but it is just a wall, like straight wall or the circle. So really, it's like the Wall of Fire. This one as well has a save every time, both when it initially appears and when you're heading through it, with 7d8 piercing damage. Not the worst, if you can somehow get them there for the full 10 minutes. So this is really good as a defensive 1/1. Again, it's another opaque solid thing that you can't really see, but also it can't be damaged. It's a physical structure that can't be broken like some of the walls, or namely like Wall of Ice. The only way of actually burning or breaking or getting rid of this is by breaking concentration. It will remain. The wall itself just consistently growing and repairing, I'm assuming. In any case, it doesn't break. But the other thing, ouch, is the fact it doesn't... It affects movement, and not through difficult terrain. Specifically, 1 foot of movement costs 4 feet. And it's 5 foot thick. Meaning, once you're already on the space, it takes 20 feet of movement to get through, and is causing you a save. If you mix that with any other, like the plant growth, does that stack? Or does it just take the higher? Well, not to mention you can then just throw a difficult terrain on top of this. That does stack. That hurts. And then there's also the scenario, like a lot of these other spells or long duration spells, if you can get an enemy to stand still, because if you end your turn in this effect as well, you're making a dexterity save and taking 7d8 piercing every turn. Sorry to specify, though, if it comes up or not. The initial burst damage, when the thorns are just jutting out of the ground and stabbing into people, is piercing. When you're trying to move through it, it's slashing, or the vines are writhing and twisting. I remember in a campaign where I had a druid player cast this through a line of different bandits, and they didn't survive the initial damage, and some of them didn't survive after, and just being tangled up, thorns growing then into them and around, tearing them apart, terrifying. It's terrifying. Ever fallen into a rose bush? That, but worse, and they're moving. Terrible. 78! Again, with most of these things we've compared to other wall spells, the commoner, guard, goblin, they're not surviving that. And especially casting this in an area with difficult terrain, so it's already taking up twice as much movement, and then costing 1 foot as 4? They're not moving through that. Or they shouldn't, or they're probably gonna die. But, you know, it's not a bubble, it's not panels, so it's either a line, or it's, you know, a wall to block, a line in a certain direction, or just the circle around you or the enemy. Possibility. Which I guess is a side benefit, where fire also forces you to make the question of are you jumping through it, but you could just stay in the center of a Wall of Thorns. With a Wall of Fire, you have the pressure of I need to get out because I can just be burnt up on the inside. Cool spell though. Again, theme-wise, similar to like Wall of Ice, the just writhing thorns. And has the benefit of you can't break it. 7 out of 10! Namely because it's doing damage, it can stack with difficult terrain if you're doing the movement effect, and yes, the whole cheese of like getting someone to stay in the area, but that goes for most of these. But it's the fact it's opaque, it's a physical structure that doesn't have health or AC. So it has the intangibility of Wall of Force, while also doing damage, which Wall of Force doesn't. Yes, enemies can still move through it at a great cost of movement, so even if they get across, they might just be easily pushed back in. Because they can move into it. It's not a physical barrier to stop someone from moving, but it's going to stop physical attacks from getting through.